One, two, three, four, five, Big Gun, keep my favorite.
What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, the two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming.
Perilous Worlds is the publisher of the game which made my number 5 spot for favorite Kickstart games of 2021, and that's Conan the Sumerian, Tower of the Elephant. I'm a big fan of Robert E. Howard and specifically his creation, Conan the Sumerian, and whenever I find a game that's dedicated to this IP, I want to know more about it. And when I found out and looked into this game, Tower of the Elephant, I was quickly sold as a Kickstarter game. I knew I had to have this, and I didn't want to miss anything that maybe you wouldn't get from a retail sale. I wanted to make sure I got it right away and got a chance to play it, so I backed it. This game, first of all, is a visual masterpiece. This is a stacked box game. It's a tower game, quite literally building a tower out of the Russian doll style boxes when you open up the box of the game. This does more than just fascinate the eye, though. It literally relives the Robert E. Howard Conan tale, Tower of the Elephant. In fact, it relives it a little too much for it to have gotten a higher mark on this scale. It only barely made it in actually because of the specific IP and my love of that character. The game itself is a little railroaded. You don't have a lot of choices since you are literally playing through the choices Robert E. Howard made for Conan and the other characters as he wrote the story. However, you do get to have different styles of fighting. You get to make slightly different encounter choices during the course of the game, so it does have a small amount of replayability. As a fan of Robert E. Howard and Conan, this happens to be a great catch for me. And if you happen to be a fan also, then I really think you're going to want to look into this game some more, because you might just want it because of your love of Conan the Sumerian. But the game overall does have a good head-to-head version of it if you're getting a little tired of the one-player mode, where another player takes on the character of Yara the Sorcerer and is in charge of sending forces against Conan and will actually even fight Conan himself. But if you aren't a Conan fan, you may get a little bit, a little run down by playing this over and over again. It may not have as much replayability to you, but to me, I loved it enough that it just squeaked in to the number 5 slot. 4. Tim Brinton is a self-publisher who got a game on Kickstarter that funded that I thought was good enough to make this list. For the number 4 spot, Paper App Dungeons. This is a fantastically fun, amazingly small, and conveniently easy game to play. This is a perfect one-player style game. This is simply a pocket-sized spiral pad, and with a 6-sided die or a online generator to generate a random number from 1 to 6, you can have a dungeon delve in a moment. Yeah, you can literally just flip this open and start playing. There's no setup time at all. All you need are a few minutes, waiting for a bus or maybe on a bus ride, waiting for a meeting or for some friends to come over. Maybe your boss just stepped away and you know you're going to have a good 15, 20, 30 minutes before he or she comes walking back. Not that I'm telling you to do anything to lose your job, but that is how fast and that is how simple Paper App Dungeon is. I think it's a great game not only to have and to own, but I think it's a perfect gift-giving game for any gamer to give to his gaming buddies or even non-gaming buddy would have some fun with this game. It's simple enough, it's fast enough, it's going to give you that sense, in a basic form, of taking a grand adventure in a dungeon. Check out Paper App Dungeons. Colossal Games is the publisher whose title made it to the number 3 slot on my favorite Kickstarters of 2021. Western Legends expansion, Blood Money. Not only an expansion, but the last expansion that they have publicly said that they are going to do for the Western Legends game. It's pretty much run its course at this point, and with the 2 big box expansions and the 3, or is it 4 at this point, small box expansions, they feel as if they've taken the game anywhere and everywhere it could possibly go without repeating themselves. And I think I have to agree with them on that. They've done a fantastic job on this. And of course, I would always like to see and appreciate more Western Legends. What they've given us so far is an amazing game when you put it all together. In this game, you're going to be able to choose and play an actual historical Western figure from Legends. And you're going to be able to play their character just like it was in real life. Or nothing at all like what it was like in real life. You're going to make the choices and decide what missions you're going to go on, what resources you're going to try to grab, what you're going to do. And there are multiple ways in this sandbox style game in order for you to acquire victory points. If you're a fan of the Old West, the Wild West, or even just the movie genre of cowboys, then you definitely are going to need to check out and get more information for Western Legends. And when you do, I think you're going to find that all the expansions, and particularly Blood Money, is all worth it to put together to make one grand game. Games by Like has a game that made the number 2 slot. It's called The Phantom, the card game. And this is based on the franchise, the IP of The Phantom, one of the oldest running superheroes that we have in modern times. I believe the Phantom is actually the first depicted superhero to ever be in a leotard, in a one-piece classic style superhero costume. Although he may not be the very first superhero depicted by media, he is in the top 3, I believe. He has been established for a very long time, is my point. And this card game delves deep into not only the origins of the Phantom, but also some of the newer stories and concepts that have been created around this living, breathing, continuing legend. The Phantom is for 1 to 2 players, and you're going to get to play out mission decks. The game itself comes with 3 mission decks, and there's already a 4th separate one, an expansion, that has been successfully funded on Kickstarter. And that's where the heart of this game lies, is in these adventure decks, these tuck box cards that are essentially a graphic novel. Each one of these, you are playing through a graphic novel comic book, and it feels like it. It has a sense of choose your own adventure, which I find very fun, but it's not a choose your own adventure game. It is it's a bit of a resource management game. You do have to, it's a big resource management game, actually, that's kind of hidden as a choose your own adventure game. And overall, the different aspects come together beautifully. I love putting this game on the table. I love playing it. I love showcasing it and showing it off to everyone. This is the kind of game that I think more people should get more information on themselves and make their own decisions, because I think that they're going to come to the decision that this might be a game for you. And if you're a fan of the Phantom, this is a no-brainer. Anyone that's a fan of that IP, that franchise, simply must look more into this game. And I think you might just end up getting it if you're that big of a fan. Fundamental Games has a title that became my number one favorite Kickstarter played of 2021, and that is Die in the Dungeon. This is a true reverse dungeon style game where you, the player, and it is a one-player game at its core. It can be played 2 players. If you have 2 sets of the core box, you can even play 4 players. But at its heart, it is a solo adventure game. And this experience will take you through the life of a dungeon monster. From the moment you are captured by the evil, powerful wizard and forced to be a minion in his dungeon protecting his stuff, to the day of your rebellion. This game, yes, you do play the monster fighting the heroes. It is a brilliant concept that is not done enough. This game has beautiful use of components. Not only are the tiles that are used great shape, they're beautifully made, they are thick, they are strong, they are going to last a long time. But my favorite thing, as I've talked about every single time this game topic comes up, is their clear acrylic standees that the monsters are then painted on. It gives a more fuller visual illusion of what you're looking at. I really like this and wish it would become more of a standard across the board with more companies. And they look beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This game has a loose campaign style that you can play through. It is a fun story where you not only get to learn how the game is played while you are going through one story in the campaign after another, but it is a story of character. It is a story about your character, and it is your character's escape and hero journey hidden in a reverse dungeon game where you, the monster, are going to eventually become the hero through your own rebellion and hopefully, if you win, your own escape from being under the claw of the Die Flayer wizard that's placed you here against your will. I want to see more of this game, and I'd also love to see it reskinned in other styles. I think this game could very easily be reskinned in a sci-fi version. But before even going that far, just this game itself, I'd love to see more tiles. I'd like to see more monster options, and even some more hero and epic hero options. If you enjoy fantasy games, you definitely need to learn more about Die in the Dungeon, my number one favorite Kickstarter game of 2021 played.